Hi. Um, I have been keeping track of the Seattle City Council and the elections that are coming up here in 2019. I contacted Bruce Harrells, or Harrells, Harrell. I contacted his office today. He's the head of the Seattle City Council, for those who don't know, president of the City Council. Anyway, I got a hold of his secretary. And I was pretty peeved, and I asked some questions. One, I wanted to find out what the Seattle City Council is planning on doing about the problems that are arising from the homelessness that's going on, the homelessness and the drug abuse. The reason I was asking these questions was because I came across an article that talks about the bus riders and rail, the bus riders and transit people that have to take transit to get back and forth to work, and that just generally want to get around the city, that want to use public transportation, and they were complaining about human waste coming from the homeless. Now, I don't think it's fair to just single out the homeless normally, but today I think it's a good idea. It says that waste was found at an eastbound bus stop at Denny and West Lake. Clothes and garbage. Basically, well, what I'm seeing in the photograph basically looks like it was planted there. That's what I'm going to say. It says there's a reoccurring complaint with King County Metro customers. The buses or bus stops smell of human waste. Now, I can't imagine the buses smelling like human waste. I don't really think that they would allow people to urinate on their buses. They keep those pretty clean, the buses. Either you have a serial dumper or no one did anything to address this. One customer complained, "I'm sick of it. Clean this stuff up." And he was being literal about it. As a frequent bus user, I've experienced some of the same observations on Route 70 and 8. The bus or bus stop can sometimes smell as if it has been used as a toilet. KTTH and My Northwest, through a public disclosure request, poured through over 15,000 complaints filed with Metro online throughout all of 2018, and we noticed a trend. It's almost assuredly a direct consequence of a region's out-of-control homelessness, which Metro isn't remotely responsible for. Yeah, Metro is not responsible for it, but Metro needs to start coming down on the city. Metro needs to make a stand. Hell, Seattle itself needs to make a stand. I get it, and I've said it time and time again. Homelessness is a fact of life, which is a fact of life that shouldn't be a fact of life, but they're here. And no matter what you do, you're going to look cruel. You stand up for yourself, you're going to look cruel. You stand up against the homelessness, you're going to look cruel. You stand up against homeless people, you're going to look cruel. But eventually you got to say, enough is enough. Enough is enough. Seattle, we need to take our city back. Now look, I don't live in Seattle, I live in Minneapolis, but that does not mean that I cannot care about the city I fell in love with all those years ago. And I'm still in love with Seattle. If I had an opportunity to move back there, I would take it in a heartbeat. It says here, one complaint said the stationary bus stop at the Rapid Ride E at South Washington Street between 2nd Avenue and 3rd Avenue was so bad a bus rider literally gagged. That would have had to have been really horrible, unless that person is just that weak. Now, I've spoke to the Seattle City Council on this several times. I spoke to Bruce Harrell, and he has not wanted to return any of my calls. His secretary, who I spoke to today, was quite pissed off at me. She wanted to get me off the phone as quick as possible. She said I need to take this up with the mayor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start calling into these Seattle talk shows. A while back, you couldn't do that because you had a home phone and you had to pay for long distance. But with cell phones, you can call over the United States and talk as long as you want, and it's covered under your cell phone plan. So I'm going to start calling places, and I'm going to start talking to businesses, and I'm going to start finding out Google Maps can be your friend. Google Maps can give you a bird's eye view of Seattle. Google Maps can allow you to get on the street and you can go around and you can view the different stores and places. I'm going to start doing that, and anytime I catch anything that's related to the homelessness or that's related to anything that's detrimental to the city of Seattle, I'm going to screenshot it and I'm going to print it. I'm going to put it up and I'm going to say this is what this is. And when you do a satellite photograph, it allows you to get down on top of everything, which means that where the homeless encampments are, they have no control of what the satellites are taking photos of. So it could possibly catch them in some stuff that they don't want to be caught in. I don't like narking on people, but I'm telling you, Seattle, you really need some help, man. And for some odd reason, I seem like the only one that really cares. I could be wrong here, but I seem like the only one that really cares. And I'm going to keep calling. I'm going to keep talking to the city council. I'm going to talk to the current council that's on now. And any other ones that are taking office next, I'm going to talk to them. I'm going to find out what's going on and why they're doing what they're doing. I'm going to find out what kind of change they want for Seattle. I'm going to really just put the screws to them. And Seattle, you're going to get better. You're going to get better. Trust me. I will not let you become another Detroit. I'm going to make this really short and sweet for the sake of time. I've got some other things to do. Basically, I just wanted to rant a little bit about this because I'm sick and tired of calling the city council about things they should be doing and find out that they don't really care. They don't care enough to take the time out of their day to talk to somebody that really loves the city that they would love to be in. Anyway, I'm going to let you go on that note. This has been All Things Considered because I consider all things. Have a good night, Seattle, and all points beyond.